Here we go, Barfly. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all their Bears fans out there. We got a lot of changes going on. You know, a lot of assistant coaching changes. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of possibilities. What could happen here, there. We have the wrap up of the closing of the season press conference. But let's kick this thing off. We'll introduce everybody, and then we'll play this little wrap-up thing we got for you guys. First, we got Mr. Ryan Badgley, Badge of Honor. Badge, what's up, man?
What's up, Bobby? What's up, fellas? Another day of the off season, and still plenty to talk about these Bears, man. Ready to get into it, and gonna be a great show for you guys. We're excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. Then we got a full house today. Everybody's in the room. Then we got Mr. Aaron Curran, AC in the place to be, the Bearded Bears fan. AC, what's up, dude?
What's going on, fellas? Stayed up last night and watched that fight. If y'all ain't heard, if you're living under a rock, McGregor knocked out in the second round last night. You said there's some changes. To me, it's not enough changes, but I'll take what I can get, and I'm ready to talk ball with you guys.
Absolutely, man. I mean, change has to happen, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't the change everybody had thought was going to happen, but when people get plucked and start going places, man, that's what happens. You got guys who ride there and whatever. They start to build their tree and their staff elsewhere. Next, we got Mr. Magic Mike, Miracle Mike, Mr. Swaggy Schaefer in the room. Mike, what's buddy? How you doing, man?
Good to be back. Good to be back again. Let's go Buccaneers, huh? It's good to see Badge rocking the pack today. Hopefully Tom Brady and the Bucs knock off the pack. Bear weather has finally arrived in Chicago. It took a while to get here. We got a little bit of snow on the ground, and the snow is coming. Perfect backdrop to watch Tom Brady beating the Packers today. So excited to talk about Bears football here, some coaching changes and everything else that's going on, and then take our butt to the couch to go watch Tom Brady beat up the pack.
Yeah, I hope so, man. We absolutely need Brady to just beat the hell out of the Packers. And last but not least, we got Mr. Ryan KB Kirkland Billing up, dude.
What's going on, baby? Hey, man, it's a nice Sunday, man. Finally got some more snow, about that, but it is what it is. It's the Midwest, baby. Stayed up late watching that fight, just like my boy. Hey, watch my man McGregor go down. Get my man Poirier put the good hands on him. I'm gonna take this time, take that long ride. But here today, talk some Bears football, baby, and we love it. We love it.
Yeah, McGregor just became a meme. You see it all the time. I've seen a couple already with him being knocked out, and it's like, Netflix, are you still watching? Me. Like, there's all kinds of shit out there, man, and it just looks horrible. Yeah, but whatever. If you paid me $11 million for somebody to make a lifetime meme out of me, I'd be all over it, dude. I'll take the meme. You
absolutely.
Whatever the hell you want. Like 11.5 for a fight and say, but at the end of it, they're going to meme of you. Like, fuck, I don't care. Let's go, man. Give me the 11.5, make a meme.
Give me the money, baby.
Like, call my buddy fucking Swaggy Schaefer and put a t-shirt. I don't give a shit. Like, let's go. All right, so let's we got a little something here from that Badge had found from Peter Grant on Facebook. It's kind of like the wrap up of the outgoing interviews, or not interviews, the outgoing conference.
Yeah, the awkward press conference bullshit. Peter put his little spin on it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and drop that in here, and just for fun, let's let that thing roll.
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
The Chicago Bears select Mitchell Trubisky.
Obviously excited to add a quarterback of this caliber.
With time, downfield, wants Robinson.
The only chance you get to add quarterbacks like this is when you're picking this high in the draft.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
His accuracy jumps out right away. His ability to process and see the whole field jumps out right away.
Good one. Now first and goal from the 13. Trubisky over the middle, in traffic, intercepted.
We had conviction on this quarterback and his special attributes, and we did what we had to do to get him.
He forgot to look at Deshaun Watson. Fires, and that's going to be picked off at the 36-yard line.
23 years. You still care about anything you cared about 23 years ago?
It's only a game. What did you just say?
She said it's a crying shame.
That's my team, the city that I'm from. It's most of my relationship with my dad.
We recognize that we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Ryan and Matt are men of character. They are both, like Ted, outstanding leaders. I was impressed with both of them this past season, especially during the 6-game losing streak.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
We understand your frustration. We're frustrated too.
Where do you get off?
We think that both Ryan and Matt are the people best able to lead us to success.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Both Ryan and Matt were instrumental in holding the team together.
You know, I personally feel like we had an opportunity, you know, to be able to get something done, you know, over the past over 365 days now. So
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I confer with other owners around the league whose opinions I trust, and I confer with members of our family and members of the board of the directors before making a decision like this.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Fuck this bullshit.
We all have high expectations, and 2020 wasn't good enough. And I get that, and I understand that. And ownership has given us an opportunity. They've given us all the resources we can ask for. And now that's on Matt and I to prove them right.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
We thought that was a perfect way to recap last week's fucking shit show. Because, you know, I mean, you know, yes, there was a little bit of Mitch hate in there, you know, not necessarily from us, but, you know, just Peter Grant, man. I found that on Facebook, man, and I thought it would be a perfect capper to end, you know, the shit show of last week's press conferences.
Yeah, it encapsulated my feelings on the press conferences perfectly. I feel like Peter Grant did a great job of catching what most of the Bears fan base is feeling or was feeling after that press conference. I mean, when it clicked to Jordan and he's listening to he's listening to George McCaskey talk about. I was especially happy with the way they pulled us out of the 6-game losing streak, and he just.
I was gonna say, man, it had to be the Billy Madison scene for me. Everybody in this room is now dumber for having listened to what you had to say. That's how I felt, sitting there like,
Dude, I was just looking him up on Facebook. We need to send Peter Grant some swag, either some stickers or whatever. Yeah. But send him a little something for his efforts and for us using it on the show. That was awesome. I mean, no bashing there. It was all truth. You mean? I mean, it was that's just how it got laid out, man. That's how the season went. And I know somebody put in the chat, like, what are we bashing Mitch now? And somebody's like, oh, this is the bashing Mitch stream. It's just, I mean, he's gonna be a good, probably a good to great backup somewhere, and he's an average quarterback. That's right. Kind of what we've, you know, in this system. That's what he is, and that's kind of the end of it.
We're not bashing Mitch as much as we're bashing Ryan Pace for moving up to grab the third best quarterback that was there available to him and he could have just sat there and grabbed whomever he wanted, most likely.
And hey, look, it's comedy. It's a way to make light of a funny situation or a crappy situation that the team's in. It's all comedy, right? I don't think that was a serious bash video.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Absolutely.
What's called? Let's get into these coaching changes. I'm going to start this thing off with Mr. Kirkland Billings, man. We'll just start where it counts, man. Start on this defense. We see Pagano come in. He wasn't the aggressive mindset that we thought was going to happen. His initial conference was 52's got this way instead of that way, and he kind of didn't really do that. You've seen him kind of play more of the protection back, the zones and protecting the deep ball and that instead of actually being aggressive up front, man. So then the Bears decide to stay internal, bring in Sean Desai, but move Sean Desai up to the defensive coordinator. What do you think about this move, man? And what do you think it does for the players that are on that defense and are with the team right now?
I feel like it gives you it kind of gives you still that glue. Desai's been here for a while now. I think I saw somewhere since 2016, somewhere in that neighborhood or something like that. The guy is well versed. 2013. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I know he's been here for a long time. He's a great coach. I've been seeing people bashing this move. Oh no, it's another Bears thing to do just to hire a dude internally when you're not looking at this man's pedigree. He was thrown a bad, not the greatest freaking terms last year. You had your starting quarterback and Jalen Johnson go out, even though he was a rookie. They had the guy playing like he's been there for years. You lose your slot corner, even though I'm not a big fan of Buster Screen play because it kind of seemed like it just trailed off last year. Then you get a second-year pro in Duke Shelley. Picks the slack up, and it's amazing. You get Kendall Vildor in, who played great coverage. You get all these missing parts, and then he had the backups playing decent. How many games did DeAndre Houston Carson win us? I felt like it was a great move. I feel like it was something that was well overdue. I wouldn't have minded Jay Rodgers if we were going to promote internally, but besides it was 1A, 1B. That's how they worded me. I feel like this was a great hire. I don't feel like this was the Bears being the Bears. It's not going to be the same old shtick. This guy could have been in DC somewhere. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. I feel like fans just jump to conclusions because we hired somebody internally. You got to look at the man's background.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it says a lot that when Fangio left and went to Denver, they actually tried to pluck Desai, and the Bears ended up making this position he was previously filling as the safeties coach. They ended up creating that position to keep him on the coaching staff, and they blocked the interview and basically created the position for him to stay. Fangio had some good things to say about Desai being the new defensive coordinator. I know you were keeping tabs on that thing and what Vic had to say, man. What do you think about Desai taking over and running this defense, man? And what do we see different from? Do we go back to a Vic Fangio style of defense, or do you think it's going to be similar to what Chuck ran?
I'm not sure. I talked on here about wanting to go out and get someone else. I like Terrell Austin a lot from Pittsburgh. But if we were going internal, a lot of us were in agreement with Jay Rodgers, but we let him leave. And just like KB laid out right there, Desai was 1A in that promotion process. And I don't know how much a established defensive coordinator or someone from a different organization would want to come here with a lame duck season. I mean, let's be honest, it's put up or shut up for Nagy and Pace. We might be on a complete rebuild after this one season. So I mean, so the move made sense. And a lot of people that I saw bashing this move were I don't want to get myself in trouble when I speak about the age of of the particular gentleman, but I'm assuming that they were huge fans of the '85 Bears and just wanted Mike Singletary to try and grab some memories of days old. But I feel like the move was good, and again, there wasn't a whole lot of choices we had because the writing's on the wall with this coaching staff. And if I'm an established defensive coordinator or I'm up for a defensive coordinator, I'm not going to come here and coach for one season and then and then head to looking for another job again.
I think it's a good move. I like the idea of an internal candidate. And what I really, really like about Desai is he's a really, really smart dude. The guy holds a PhD. The guy's got a LinkedIn profile. Like, this dude is smart. And not only is he smart, but he's been here for a long time. Bobby, you said, I think 2013, he was a Trestman guy. So he's been here through 3 regimes. Trestman, Fox, Nagy, and each regime has kept him and promoted him. So he knows the personnel. He's smart. And I think going back to Bobby's question about will we see more of a Fangio style or a Pagano style, I think we might see something totally different because this guy, like, he's got that bright mind. I think what we're going to see from him is taking his players, which we've been calling for mostly on the offensive side of the ball, but I think he's going to take his players and construct scheme that will fit their skill sets. We might see Eddie Jackson in center field a lot more, right, than playing in the box like he has the last couple of years. 2018, I think he took like 71% of his snaps as a free safety and not in the box. That's when he had all those interceptions. That's going to be one of the big things that will tell us whether or not Desai is doing a good job or whether or not we're seeing some immediate impact is the performance of guys like Eddie Jackson and Khalil Mack, right off the bat. So I like the hire. I think it's impossible to get too high right now, right? He's not experienced. He's got 6 years in the NFL. So if you're too high on this, I think you need to check yourself a little bit because he doesn't have that. He didn't play college football. Like, it's just a non-traditional background that got him to where he is. But I think he's got a very, very high ceiling. If this hits and if he can press the right buttons and if he could take the learnings that he's taken away from Vic Fangio, from Chuck Pagano, from everybody else that he's worked under, I think we could be pleasantly surprised with somebody that knows this team, knows his personnel, and knows the Bears really, really well.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mike. I mean, this is a guy who he's seen, as you said, three different types of defense since he's been here. Obviously, that first one, pretty shitty.
Yeah, I don't think the first one was actually a defense. He was just
very true. It was just throwing
players on the field, but
but I think, having that tutelage under Fangio, now seeing a little bit of what Pagano did and seeing what worked and what didn't in his defense, I think there'll be a nice mesh and mixture to the two. At the same time, I really liked Jay Rodgers. I was disappointed to see him go, but seeing the players come out in support for Sean Desai, seeing former players, Sam Acho was very high on Sean Desai, talked very highly of him, just how smart he is. Now, I don't want to look at the smart thing because, Nagy's supposedly an offensive genius. And I mean, we were 31st in the NFL in offense. So the smart thing doesn't really play for me very well here, but I do think Sean Desai can and will put out a decent defense. I think he recognizes, as Mike said, Eddie playing center field is the place for him to be. And I mean, you saw it yesterday on Twitter. Brian Robinson, I think his name is, with a breakdown on what he expects out of this Bears defense. I mean, just a couple of plays he put up is Eddie Jackson playing that deep safety position, recognizing a short throw coming in and making a play on the football, and most of those are interceptions. And he wasn't allowed to do that in Pagano's scheme. It just wasn't there for him. So to me, that's the biggest tell is what now with Eddie Jackson. I mean, Eddie
I just
obviously
hope
this
Eddie
season,
Jackson gets his hands in order because
well,
last year he
he's got
had
to
the
tackle,
chance.
number one.
Right, but he had the chance to make 2 or 3 interceptions that we saw just bounce right off his hands. And it wasn't Eddie Jackson of old, and I guess confidence will go a long way with making those plays. But that frustrated me a lot last year, seeing Eddie Jackson ability to make a play and just not.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think with Desai though, like one, I won't say bad part, right? Maybe it's good, but one thing is he has to build his whole staff. I mean, Rodgers is gone, right? Monteshino's gone. You got your defensive line coach is gone. Your outside linebackers coach is gone. He was the safeties, the whatever, the made up position for that. So he needs to fill some spots and build up this, this defense to what he wants. And whether or not he knew he was the front runner or the guy, I know a lot of people said, they think that nobody wanted the job and that the Bears just went for internal because there wasn't other options out there to team up with his coaching staff. How hard is it, going to be for this guy to find guys that he wants to build defense?
I don't believe any of that shit, Bobby, to be honest with you, man. If there's an opportunity for a guy to get promoted from a positional coach role to a defensive coordinator role, they're fucking taking that chance just to show what they can do. I don't believe for 1 second that some place because the team is bad isn't a place to go or who's there. To me,
get back in the league,
right?
Yeah.
A senior assistant job with the Niners yesterday, so he was willing to take whatever he could get. So.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I just, to me, you look at some of the people that interviewed, the connection between Nagy and James Betcher, Singletary being, a Chicago Bear legend. I think a lot of people overlook Mike Singletary because of that reason. This is a guy, guys, who, was a positional coach, then jumped all the way to head coach, who now has been out of the league for a number of years. He coached high school football for a few seasons down in Texas. Yeah. He's had time now to sit there.
He also was the coach in the XFL.
And he's a coach in the XFL. That's right. He's had time to now sit and watch the league and watch teams and watch what they're doing schematically, defense. This guy's a smart mind that knows how to execute a defense. I don't think he would have been, and he can teach too. And that's the thing with Desai that I think is going to be big is the teaching aspect of it. I don't think the single, you saw a lot. They're talking to him because of this situation, and I just don't believe that, guys. Sorry, Bobby, to
no, you're
point
good,
that
man.
out, but,
you're good. Yeah, and I was kind of going on the same road, man. I just hope that he's able to get the guys that he wants, right? But I don't think he was promoted to DC because nobody else wanted it. I think that's just horseshit. There's no way that somebody said, "Oh, I can't go to the Bears because Nagy's a sinking ship," but they're gonna give me Mac and Roquan and Jalen and all these guys, but no, I don't want that job. I just think that's, if anything else, if maybe you're a DC looking at becoming a head coach, why not take it? Like, fuck, maybe they'll go to me next. Maybe his downfall will be my promotion. Who knows, right? And then, I mean, on the opposite side of the ball, you got Dave Ragone's gone. He went down to Atlanta as an offensive coordinator where he's not going to call plays, but that's where he went anyway. Maybe he's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Who's their head coach again? Who they hired?
The dude from the Titans who's already said that he's going to call the plays. I can't think of his name right now.
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. There you go.
Were they college roommates? What was the connection here? They bird watchers together?
No,
he
they
just loved the way Ragone was able to build up Trubisky throughout his career here in Chicago.
That's what it was.
He wanted that for Matt Ryan.
They were
That's
actually
exactly what it
together
was.
on the Titans. They were together on the Titans from like 11 to 13 or something like that. So yeah,
So they were
they're
bird
boys.
watching friends.
Yeah. And then on the offensive side, we also lost Charles London, running back coach, who went down with Ragone. So they all went together. And he went down there to be, I don't know if it's to be the running back coach, but he went down there also. Just a little while ago, we seen Aaron Lemming Aaron Lemming retweeted it, but Mike Garofalo said that Deuce Staley has asked Philly to basically let him out of his contract over there as a running back coach. We've seen some of this brought up in Chicago media and that Deuce Staley's a name back coach here. What do you guys think of that? Would you take the Deuce, bringing the Deuce in to kind of mold and be wary though, because this isn't the style of running backs, right? We got Tariq, you got CP, you got Dave Montgomery, you got guys who all bring something different to the table. Can Deuce come in here and actually teach these guys and bring an added value to the running back room?
I think if you watched the combine last season and specifically the running backs, which Deuce Staley ran, and he was running the drills, I think Deuce Staley would be a phenomenal addition here to the running back room. I think he will be able to take the strengths of each of these running backs and, totally show them and the way to be a professional running back. I think David Montgomery will benefit greatly from Deuce Staley. I view David Montgomery not as similar to Deuce Staley as
Kind of in the same mode.
Yeah, but I feel like they're similar. You know what I mean? Tariq Cohen, I think, can benefit from it. Tariq being a smaller guy, Deuce was a smaller guy. I just think it would be a good fit. I want to mention too, London will be the quarterback coach in Atlanta. Doug Dyer, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that because I forgot too.
Yeah.
I like Deuce. I remember seeing him play in New Orleans, and I like the way he played. Was he? I don't know his coaching career, honestly. Was he in Philly with Darren Sproles? If so, that could be something that he could try to
mimic,
lean Tariq Cohen toward, being that Sproles role, which we've all made that connection when Tariq was drafted. At least I did anyway. I'm assuming that most Bears fans kind of made that connection because it looked like we were building a Philadelphia Eagles style team at that time. And so we kind of plugged him into that role. So I mean, I'm for it. Bring him in and see how it goes, I guess.
I agree. And I think in that time when he was in Philly, he also coached with Nagy, and he understands the offense. And if Nagy's going to continue to build the offense the same way that he had with its complexities, that's the upside there too, is that Deuce already understands. He already knows that offense. So there's some continuity, even though he hasn't been here yet. So yeah, I don't think you could lose with bringing him in.
Yeah, I don't think you can either. And I know Doug had put it in there that he was. I think he had the assistant head coach role. I think he was a running coach, assistant head coach in Philly. But I'm good with it. I mean, you bring him in and get a little more, I guess skills in there, and somebody who's gonna push Nagy to the run game and to maybe use the run a little more. Now, I say that. I know everybody, all of us Bears fans, me included, right? We're pounding the table, saying run the ball, got to get the run game going, You guys realize the 4 teams in the conference championship games today were the top 4 passing teams in the league in order. Like those 4 teams.
Most of them they run the ball to set up that pass game. If you look in Green Bay, they run the hell out of Aaron Jones, and all their pass plays, or majority of their pass plays, is set up to look like that zone run scheme. I think Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are 1 and 2 for play action touchdown passes this season. So it's not like they're not running the ball; they're just able to do it all, and that's why
I got
they're where they are.
Yeah, to me, they're running with Aaron Jones. They should be running with A.J. Dillon, in all honesty. I mean, Aaron Jones, I don't get me wrong, he's phenomenal running back. But A.J. Dillon doesn't go down. And this is a guy who –
A.J. Dillon, bro.
Yeah, this is a guy who I think after this season, there's a reason why – well, the Packers offered Aaron Jones a top 5 running back contract, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
So he's going to go elsewhere and get paid, and that paves the way for A.J. Dillon. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see him more today than you see Aaron Jones, quite honestly, because if he's going to be their back of the future, you might as well put it in his hands now. This isn't, do we want to get into those games now, or why don't we go through the?
No, we can get into them later. I was just going off of the passing attack that these teams, obviously they have a good run game and they've established their style offense, but I don't think it's like
have established
wild and out
offenses,
there.
But you have established offenses where you look at ours, where ours is. It's a work in progress, and it's been a work in progress for the 3 years that Nagy's been here. One year you've had, this is our offense spread, the spread coast, or whatever the hell it was called, and then the next year is probably we should be under center, running the ball down people's throat, because that's how our play style is. And then this year it's, hey, let's do spread coast thing again. No, let's do this. You don't have a definitive answer for what the offense is, but you look at the Green Bay. I wasn't a big fan of that hire with Flynn, or whatever the hell the head coach's name is. But his offense is perfect for Aaron Rodgers. The results speak for themselves. That man has one phenomenal wide receiver with a host of Looney Tune characters playing behind him at number 2, and they still find a way to put up points. You got Bruce Arians. Everybody knows Bruce Arians' offense is amazing. He's throwing deep shots, and Tom Brady is an awesome facilitator. The Bills head coach, what's his name? It's escaping me at the moment. But they found out what works.
Sean McDermott.
That man, he deserves hella praise. To me, that's coach of the year. That man deserves hella praise for getting that team off the ground the way they did. They know what their offensive identity is. You let Josh Allen play backyard football.
Yeah, that's another thing, Bobby. All 4 of these teams have established quarterbacks.
Right. All 4 of them have established quarterbacks and offenses. We all know the Patrick Mahomes show. I'm going to get the ball down the field. My receivers are faster than your DBs. They'll be okay.
Well, they have established quarterbacks. They have established quarterbacks from this year. I wouldn't say that the Bills had an established quarterback last year.
The projection that Josh Allen made this year is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Talking about Josh Allen last year like he was the second coming of Jesus.
I'm just saying.
They were like, this kid is so phenomenal.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the 4 teams in the championship game are the top 4 in passing in the league. Like it's just a thing. They're the top 4 in the league in passing, and I don't think it's coincidental that they made it there.
Yeah. And if you look at years, you have guys like Garoppolo and Goff that make these championship games and even get to the Super Bowl. So I think it's more a coincidence that you have. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be a benefit to have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think your odds of making the conference championship game are a little bit higher, but it hasn't been that consistent last few seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of consistent quarterbacks, from the barroom account, there were some questions put out, some poll questions put out today. And we're kind of we're testing the waters and seeing what everybody has and what they want to see here in Chicago next year. Everybody's pretty much under the belief that Trubisky will not be back. And he will not be, if he is brought back, maybe he's brought back on a 2-year role, but that he will not be the answer at quarterback. So the poll questions that were sent out today, and if you're in the chat, let us know what you guys think. The first one that we had was put a value on Matthew Stafford to the Bears. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and throw in what you think. But overall, it came in at 41.1% that it was going to take multiple mid-round picks to get Matthew Stafford over to the Bears. 587 votes, and the majority went with that. Badge, coming over to you, man. Is it? So let's say that it is a possibility, right? So let's take away the fact. Let's take away the fact that trading him to a division rival, because that's always the number one thing that people shoot down. But so Stafford to the Bears, what are your thoughts on it? How do you see it playing out?
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who hate it, but I'm all for Matt Stafford coming to Chicago. And I would probably give up a couple mid-round picks to get him here. This is a guy who's established in the league, that's a veteran. You bring him in and then find the guy you want in the draft and let that drafted quarterback sit behind Matt Stafford for the 2 years he's got left on his deal. And I definitely think you see some improvement from this offense. I mean, Stafford is a guy who, he's been in a shitty place for his entire career. Detroit isn't a place that has had much success in shit. When's the last time they were in the playoffs? 16 years ago? Longer than that? So it's fucking he's been hurt a little bit, but at the same time, a lot of the guys around him have been hurt too. I mean, you saw it.
He didn't have Galladay all year this year.
To watch Stafford his whole career being Bears fans. Yeah. If you're a fan of football, how could you not get behind a guy like him coming and being the quarterback for your offense, especially to develop somebody behind him? To me, that's a fucking no-brainer, dude.
Well,
it's absolutely a no-brainer, but I think you're looking at an overpay situation because it's within the division. I would personally do a first for him because of that. Like, you're not just trading assets for 2 years of a quarterback. You're trading for everything between his ears. And I think out of all the guys out there in free agency and all the guys that are tradable or trade targets right now, he would be absolutely hands down my number one. And this is a domino that's sort of separate but connected. Let's just say we can't make it work with A-Rob to a new contract. You might be able to get Galladay a little bit cheaper than A-Rob. The continuity between him and Stafford for the next 2 years. I love the idea. I just don't think Detroit deals in division without making us grossly overpay more than that first. I think that's where the deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, the whole trading division thing would be the big one. I don't see the Detroit Lions saying, "Here, we're gonna give you a quarterback, and you guys are gonna do good."
Right.
If it happened, great. To me, Stafford is Jay Cutler with better leadership attitude. The man has the arm to literally make every damn throw on the field. He's gritty. You've seen it in the game where they came back and beat us. He doesn't give a damn. Going to let the ball fly, and he's gonna. And like 9 times out of 10, he's gonna make the right decision. Like it's just a foregone conclusion. The guy is a hell of a player. He's a baller. He's a gamer. Is somebody who you can, to me, honestly, probably be more realistic than Deshaun Watson, and that's saying a lot because, like I said, he's in the division, but he's an immediate upgrade and probably the best quarterback talent-wise we've had since Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I think
that's just an honest guy truth.
Yeah, I think Bobby kind of cut my legs out from under me when he said not to talk about it being a division rival and trading.
I just wanted to know if you would want to.
I would love. I'd like to have Matt Stafford. How would you not like to have that talent on your team? I think it's going to cost somebody a first-round pick because the Detroit Lions and many other teams see him as a franchise quarterback who's only 32 years old. And we see two people in the NFC Championship game today. One is 43, and the other is, I mean, he was drafted in 04, so he's up there too.
He's like 35, 36.
Right. Thanks for putting me on full screen. I love it when you do that. So it's going to cost us. It's going to cost somebody a first round pick. And I was watching NFL Network last night before I went to bed. Don't ask me why, because all they do is love on the Packers. Schlong, if I can say that. Sorry. But they talked about Matt Stafford wants to be a winner. He's done padding his stats. He's got all the statistics that you would want. So he wants to go and get him a ring. So to me, that tells me he's going to Indianapolis, or he's going to possibly, I don't know, New England or New Orleans, somewhere where he's basically ring chasing. And someone did talk about his injury concern right there. That is very concerning. If anyone remembers Tony Romo, he started having back issues at the end of his career. And basically, I love Matt Stafford. He's got all the talent in the world. He's very highly underrated, but he is one big quarterback sack away from ending his career with back injury. I mean, it is what it is. I have a bad back, so I know how it is. It just depends on how you roll out of bed that day, and it's a difficult situation. But
Yeah,
to answer your original question, it's going to cost somebody a first round pick at least.
Yeah, I think too. I think he's definitely a first rounder. I don't think there's any way that the Lions just release him because they've agreed to part ways. I think San Francisco or Indy. I could see him going, I guess, to New England, but my problem with him going to New England is Matt Patricia, who was fired as the Lions head coach, is back in New England now. He's already been picked back up by New England. So he's like a week after he was fired, he's picked back up by New England. So does Stafford. And I get that, he'll be on the other side of the ball, whatever, but how did the relationship end and whatever? So I think either San Fran or Indy is where he's going. I think Indy he fits like that, that I guess prim and proper quarterback style, like non-swearing Christian type.
I mean,
guy,
they had Rivers on. They had Rivers on a rental this year. They've got a complete team. All they're missing is a quarterback. It seems. Now we thought all we were missing years ago was a quarterback, and we traded for Cutler, and that didn't work out for us. But it seems like the Colts are on that trajectory where they've got the running game. They've got the best O-line in the league. They've got weapons at wide receiver and tight end. They've got a great defense, and they just need a quarterback to put it all together. And Matt Stafford is, to me, that's a perfect fit. If I'm Stafford, that's where I want to go.
I'd love to have him here, and I think what everybody has said and echoed, I think that'd be great. Now, I know I said stake the division stuff out of it. I just don't think that it'll be done because of that, but it's been done in the past. I mean, Washington and Philly did it. Damn, years ago, Bledsoe, right? I mean, it's not like it's never been done. People, they make divisional trade, like interdivisional trades, but do you do it for a guy like Matt Stafford for giving him to a team that needs a quarterback? That's where I think that it probably doesn't happen. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to question number dos. We appreciate everybody hopping in and giving their opinions, and they're all opinions. None of us are right. Fuck, who knows? But question number 2: put a value on Deshaun Watson trade to the Bears. So throw a value on it, and the number one vote was impossible. Forget about it. There's not a chance. I think that this has the most legs out of any of them. Because, and I'll just start, you guys can pick up from there because I'm already going, but the way it goes, it doesn't matter what people offer. That has no added value to anything. The Jets go in and offer their 3 first-round picks, and on the start of the draft, they can add another first-round pick from 4 years out. And if Watson doesn't want to go there, he trade clause, so he shoots down. So basically, the issues are, it has to be a place where Watson wants to go to, and it has to have enough value for Houston to be able to accept it to let him go. Doesn't matter what people bring to the table. I know the report that was coming out was that his one was the Jets and his number 2 was Miami. Then later on last night, that got debunked like 6 different ways from people saying that Watson had no interest in going to the Jets. It was a marketplace. He said he'd want to go to a bigger market, and people took it and ran with it. Whether that's true or not, who knows, man. I'm just saying, I think that this has legs out of any of them. When it comes to it, yes, Pace didn't interview with Watson, but was Nagy's number 2. Nagy actually in the era, in that whole scene, Nagy's number 1 was Mahomes. He said he's a generational talent. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. That was Nagy's number 1. His number 2 was Watson. And then there was a 3 and then Trubisky. So to put it what it's worth, I don't know. I just think that this has the most legs out of anything. Go, Badge. What do you got?
I don't think it has legs. To me, if you don't, what's the one? What's the thing that struggled most of the year? Offensive line. They finally figured it out at the end of the season. To me, if you're going to mortgage your future on bringing Deshaun Watson to Chicago, you're not going to be able to fix a majority of the holes that you have offensively.
Right.
To me, I just think you're giving up too much. That you give up Watson, or you go and you get Watson, chances are you're not bringing back A-Rob, so who the fuck's he going to throw to? Javon Wims and Anthony Miller? I
think they're free agents too, or cut.
Yeah, I mean, they very well could be. So then what? Then you got Riley Ridley. No, he doesn't play special teams, so he won't see the fucking field. To me, it's just not. It's not an option for me to bring Deshaun Watson here. I think he's a very good football player. I think he will make some team very happy. I just don't believe for 1 second it's going to be the Chicago Bears.
I'm right there with you, Badge. I've said many times on this network, Watson was my guy in that draft.
Yep.
All you had to do was sit there at 3 and let him fall in your lap, but you moved up to get the guy you had conviction on, and you guys collaborated to grab the guy that you thought fit your culture, or however you want to spin it. But it's going to cost.
Traded up to get him.
It's going to cost you 3 first-round picks to talk to get in the conversation of getting Deshaun Watson. And with so many holes on this roster, how do you mortgage 3 first-round picks? And you might not even be here. So now you've hamstrung us for the next general manager that comes in, and he's who wants to come into to Chicago with you don't have first round picks for the next 3 years. So good luck, buddy.
That's part of what Pace said, that the organization is giving us the ability to do whatever we want. Well, I'm pretty sure, Ryan, if this season doesn't turn out the way it should, they like you. They definitely do. You've done some good things, but they're not about to mortgage their entire future for you giving up 3 first-round picks just to get a quarterback that you could have taken 4 fucking years ago, 5 years ago.
And that's just to get in the conversation. And maybe they'll look at our draft picks and say, I mean, someone said the Jets. I mean, the Jets are always in the top 10. So if you can get 3 first-round picks from them, you've got 3 top 10, top 15 picks at the lowest, depending on what Deshaun Watson's able to do there. So,
yeah, I think the biggest reason, if I'm Deshaun Watson, the biggest reason I would not want to come to Chicago is that it's salary cap hell now. If he comes here, it's salary cap hell times 100. And who's he got on the team? Like, you know, you mentioned, like, there's nobody to throw the ball to. And then you're also going to have to trade guys on the defensive side. So you compromise the good side of the ball, or what we think is the good side of the ball. So if I'm Deshaun Watson, I hold nothing against the Bears. In fact, all the talk about, well, we didn't want him then. Why would he want him? If I'm Deshaun, that might actually, I'd be like, I feel good about myself, man. Like, you know what? You guys passed up on me the first time. I'm going to come in, show you guys, and fix things, right? So I feel good about that. But to me, if I'm Deshaun Watson looking at Chicago, regardless of everything else, I look at that salary cap situation and just say no thanks.
Did you see the tweet that came out from the Bears blog earlier this week with a trade scenario for this? He was giving up 2 first-rounders, Jalen Johnson, Cole Kmet, and I feel like there was another player involved.
So you're really mortgaging
what the
your
fuck
future.
are people thinking?
Right.
You're willing to give up the 2 guys from your draft class. Well, there's more 2 guys that played very well, but your top 2 picks in your draft class to get this guy? I mean, come on.
It becomes the thing of he's worth it is what people start to look at it as. He's a hell of a quarterback. We all know that. Like I said, I would have traded up to 2 just to get Deshaun Watson. Like I said, I thought that's what we were doing in the fucking first place.
Yep.
That to me, that was the move. Like I said, the one thing I get tired of is hearing the Patrick Mahomes discussion, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever. You go up and you get the generational talent that actually has the experience. You don't trade up to get the guy that, hey, he played in the ACC, has the 8-8 record, and lost in the goddamn the damn bowl game they were in. You don't do that. You get the guy who beat Alabama. That's just common sense. But Deshaun
there it is right there. And Mooney.
Talent, why the hell would you give up Mooney?
Sorry, I forgot about Mooney.
Why would you give up
So
Mooney?
yeah, we're gonna bring in Deshaun Watson, but he's got
idiotic.
nobody to throw to.
Yeah, stop.
You know, you have to see to replace those guys with. Like, there'd be nothing around them. I just don't see it. Badge, you talked about Pace having the ability to make these decisions in the offseason. That scares the shit out of me. He's got nothing.
He doesn't have a Bears blog in there making the trades though. He's over here trying to make Madden trades. I'm good. That's for talk. I don't want to say that. That's stupid. There's no way I'm trading both of my offensive talents and my newest number 1 defensive talent. Stop. And the first? Yeah. No, bro. Shut up. But that brings me back to my point. Deshaun Watson is worth that much talent to me, but I would not make that trade. Like I said, at certain points, you have to look at other players. Like I said, to me, Matt Stafford's more of a realistic option. But in my head, my cushy little world, Deshaun Watson is worth that. But that's just me. I'm not going to trade it, but it's me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying it scares the hell out of me that Ryan Pace has the ability right now to make those decisions with no concern of the future. We're the ones that suffer from that. We're the ones that have to deal with, he gets out of here, he goes to his next job, and we got to deal with another 10-year rebuild because of all those mistakes. The mistakes he's made in the first round have gotten us into this spot. So why we give him the ability to make the decision to mortgage more future first-round picks or more first-round picks is a head-scratcher to me. You have to let this ride out. And if we fail and if we bomb next season, Pace is gone. I just don't see how he gets that opportunity to mortgage anything beyond the end of his contract. We obviously don't know when it goes.
Right.
Another problem for another episode, but that's what really, really bugs me.
You're totally right. And I apologize for, making it seem like the Bears blog, said that's what he was going to do. He didn't. To be fair, sorry, it's a little Letterkenny joke if you've ever seen it. To me, I do. I love Deshaun Watson. I don't want to make it seem, as AC said, KV said, Mike may have felt that way too. He was who I wanted. My daughter could sit here and tell you, when we were picking and then we moved up, I looked at her dead in the eye and go, it's for Deshaun Watson. I can't believe we're going to get this guy, and then the name they said the name and it flashed on my TV. I admit it. I was infuriated, I don't know that my daughter since that day has ever seen me.
Man, I was at work and I remember I was online and my phone buzzed and I looked and ESPN said, "Oh, the Bears traded up." I was like, okay. let's go get Watson then. And I put my phone back in my pocket. And then it buzzed again telling me who they drafted. And I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
But that's why I don't make millions of
Sorry,
dollars.
Robbie.
I got a reaction video from the moment that it happened because ESPN was filming the show at that time. And a buddy of mine and I were at a bar watching it. And we thought the same thing. Like, I wanted Jamal Adams all day. Like that, I felt like that was.
I would have been okay with Jamal Adams. That was my.
Yeah, traded up. I knew it was for a quarterback, and who could it have possibly been other than John? And then we find out, and my face just like the look, like all the life just fucking sucked out of my body. And I'll have to
hey, I'm like, who the fuck is Trubisky? Hey.
All right, so
Like,
the next poll we got, fellas. Oh, I'm sorry, KB.
Oh, you good?
So our next poll question, here it is. So if the Bears were unable to attract one of the top quarterbacks available in free agency or trade, which of these bridge quarterbacks would suffice? I mean, to me, guys, it's a no-brainer for me, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't be okay with Jacoby Brissett. I really thought when he was playing with Indy last year that he started out really well and then unfortunately got injured. But Dalton and Cam Newton to me they can fuck right off. They are not options.
It's an easy choice. Bring the beard to the city. I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, and look at his track record. I mean, they had him in Buffalo. They draft Josh Allen. They had him in Miami, and they got Tua, who they feel like is their guy going forward. So bring him here and bring Mac Jones with him. That's my offseason moves, but I don't know if everyone will agree with that. Mac Jones, I say that because I don't want us to mortgage our future to move up into the top 8 to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks.
I'm on board with Fitzmagic simply because he showed up to a press conference dressed as Conor McGregor. That's number one. My man has swag. He has personality. I'm all for it. He's to me he's the Josh McCown. You know what I'm saying? He's that vein of quarterback. You bring those type of guys in and say, hey, mentor the guy behind you. So I'm all for that. I'm all for bringing Fitzmagic in. If you can't get anybody, he has the attitude to play in Chicago.
So if we go first, let's say we draft somebody in the first round. What do you do with Foles if you bring in Fitzpatrick? Do you try to trade Foles?
I'm gonna put him on. I'll put him on the trade block and hope to get something, anything, 5th, 6th round pick for him. I know we lose. Well, he has a coach out there that likes him. That's true. Or Philly. Philly would be looking for.
Yeah, back around Christmas, Bill Barnwell actually had suggested that the Bears could trade Foles back to Philly for Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz would fill a hole if we cut Jimmy Graham. So that could be an interesting scenario. And then
Ertz is a free agent, isn't he? Now he's a free agent or close to it. I know his wife plays in Chicago, so a lot of people made that connection a couple of years ago. But I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was under contract for another season, but that they had agreed to part ways, or they agreed that he wasn't going to come back. So I don't know. Bill had suggested it. I remember seeing it back then, thinking there's no way, but now here we are. It could be a possibility, especially if we draft. Like, you got to draft first round, and if Mac Jones is there, I'm with you, AC. I think it's a no-brainer for us. Beyond him, that's when if he goes, if there's 11, 12 teams. I think there's like 10 teams ahead of us that legitimately can draft a quarterback. Like you could create a case that it's either a primary or secondary need. So I think we'd be incredibly lucky if he falls to us, and you'd have to take the swing.
I think I meant like falls within striking distance. I'd love to see him fall right into our lap, but if we trade with the Patriots at 15 and he's there, I'd pull the trigger. Now, the bad part of that is we have an offensive line we have to build. We have pieces on defense that are aging. So to trade up, you're going to have to trade away other draft picks. which you will need to use to build your team. But if you don't have the quarterback right, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at we saw Indianapolis for years. Like I just said, they have everything around it, and they didn't have the quarterback in place. And it's shown
want to bring
time
up
and
a
again.
name that we have yet to talk about, and this quarterback is a free agent. And I think the fear around many is how much it would cost. Dak Prescott. I mean, this is a guy who I'd spend money on Dak Prescott.
He's a hell of a player, but it's $40 million is what he wants.
Right.
And we've got –
that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is his cost. Somebody's going to pay him, and chances are he's probably not leaving Dallas. But if I'm going to spend money or do something, I don't want to give up picks. I'd rather just spend the money and sign the guy, because there's, as everybody knows, there's ways they can move money around. So yes, while we're in salary cap, it looks like we're in salary cap hell. We probably are. But there's ways that they can make these contracts, as long as the player agrees, pays out over time. So to me, if you're not having to mortgage your future, your draft future, to get a guy, I'd rather spend the money and take Dak Prescott. Is he coming here? No. They're never going to. I don't see the Bears doing any of that at all.
Well, I think
that kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the salary cap issues that we've talked quite a bit about, there's also a lot of holes on this roster, right? So you'd be paying everything that you have for that one position, and we wouldn't have any money to pay a wide receiver.
Right.
Wouldn't be money, to pay an offensive line that at some point you're going to have to pay up for. So I think that's why that deal breaks down, or why Dak, I don't think, is a realistic option. If we were in a better position financially, then absolutely. Like, do I want him here? Hell yeah. I don't think it makes sense for the Bears right now.
Yeah, as everyone knows, I'm a Kentucky fan. We play Mississippi State every year. That's our East-West. Every team in the East plays someone in the West. Tennessee drew the short end of the stick, and they play Alabama every year. We happen to be able to play Mississippi State. And so I watched Dak Prescott carve us to pieces for 4 years, and I like the guy coming out. Actually, when I saw him falling in the draft, I was like, oh, man, he's right there for us. And Pace has always talked about drafting a quarterback every year. But it didn't happen, and now we see Dak hitting free agency, and he's going to get paid. If it's in Dallas, that's good for him. And if it's somewhere else, good for him too. Honestly, I think Dak Prescott's heart is in Dallas. Whether Jerry Jones wants to keep him there it's up to him. I mean, we know Jerry's been known to throw some money around, and that's another place to look for Matt Stafford. I mean, okay.
Yeah. That's messed up. That's messed up.
That's hilarious.
Well, Matt Stafford is from Dallas, so that's another place to look on his trade market.
Trade radar.
Yeah. I gotta agree with Doug here too. The character thing for Dak. You heard it all and throughout the presser. How much they think their character is so great in Chicago and their culture. Doug Dyer said it in the chat. Maybe Dak is a guy they really go after. I don't see him spending that kind of money, but shit, that's why we're here to talk about it, because we don't know. If we had inside information, shit, we'd love to freaking.
If I had inside information, I'd be on NFL Network, not on here. I mean, I'd come in and check with my boys.
Make you move like, right? You just gonna spurn us, go to NFL Network. That's all they messed up. Gonna take your talent, your bearded talent somewhere else.
With this accent, you'll never see me on TV unless I'm talking NASCAR. Watch ESPN, where they put the guy with the southern accent. Where they put the guy with the southern accent. Oh, you go talk.
They gonna put you on the Ocho. The ESPN Ocho. with the
That's a
dive
bold move,
tournaments.
Cotton.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I heard you guys talking about the Dak thing, and I don't know if I'm coming in clear or not now, but if not, just fucking cut me off. But either way, the money can be moved to cash. That's a lot of cash for Dak. That's a lot for what he's asking, right? And they're gonna redo some contracts. They're gonna extend players. They have to do something just because of the cap hell. There'll be some
Doug
cut.
Dyer just said in 2045 our cap's gonna be screwed, pushback pace. He's always pushing back the money.
Bobby said he's got some clipped audio, so I'm still fucking making noise in here. So let me do this.
Here's some Dak highlights. You know, he's a guy I just think would work here. Mobile, can use his legs, throws the ball really well. You know, just somebody I would really like that I think would be a great fit.
He's diet Russell Wilson.
Diet Russell Wilson. Man, another thing, I'm a big jersey guy. You guys know I'm usually rocking a jersey. Why don't the Cowboys wear those navy blue jerseys more often? To me, they look so much better than the white ones. I know that's way off topic, and it's a Bears show, but it just baffles me that they've got these beautiful jerseys that they just keep them in the closet or white again.
Tradition.
Tradition, man.
Yeah, that's true. So we move on here in the poll of questions from our barroom account. If the Bears had a chance to trade up for quarterback Trey Lance, what value would you apply? And you can see here, not interested from 79.2% of people. Fellas, what do you think of this?
Not hell no. Not no 2 first rounders in a second. You talking about a quarterback that didn't play this year.
Another 1 year quarterback.
Right. It's extremely raw. And the funny thing, I love Trey Lance. I would love to have Trey Lance on the team if I didn't have to trade up for him. If he fell to us at 20 and you wanted to take a shot, by all means. But even then, if Mac Jones and was there, I'm still taking Mac Jones over Trey Lance. Hell no, not no 2 first rounders, because you're not trading up for a sure thing. This isn't like you're drafting Trevor Lawrence. So you're not getting somebody that you know is going to come out and is going to make that immediate impact. He's raw. He's to me. You look at these highlights. You got the running ability. Okay,
that's the first thing that comes out to me, is that he has the athletic ability. Mac Jones, as I said, I like him a lot. I also like Kyle Trask, who is not popular on this network for whatever reason. But you need an offensive line in front of those guys, and you need weapons around those guys.
If you can bring him in and he gets mentored by like a Fitzmagic, then maybe. There's no way in hell I'm trading 2 first round picks and a second round.
Me, guys, I think
get Lance. No way.
That's a no-brainer. If you're bringing somebody in here, you're also drafting somebody. Because chances are whoever you're bringing in here, unless it's a Dak or a Watson, whoever you're bringing in here is a guy on the downside of his career. And you're drafting somebody, no matter who it is, to learn behind that person. Otherwise, you're doing a disservice to this franchise that's been done since Ryan Pace took over. I draft a quarterback every year.
Oh, real quick, I just want to answer my boy Gaines. Mahomes might have been raw, but you got to see Mahomes' talent on full display against big teams. We've not seen that out of Trey Lance. We've seen 1 year, and in that 1 year, he did not throw over 3,000 yards. He threw for 2,200 and some change. Yeah, he didn't throw an interception, which is big. That's big time. No matter where you play, elementary, middle school, high school, hell, flag football, that is big. But Mahomes was putting up 700 yards of passing in games against D1 talent. There's we've seen this guy play 1 year. Mahomes
it's the
played
Big
2 years.
12, so it was the Big 12. So I mean, yeah, he put up against
that's why he
D1
got
talent, but they
discounted.
don't play defense in the Big 12.
You say that now. But
I'm an
the
SEC
Big 12
guy. Don't talk to me about defense, buddy.
Whoa. Does the Big 12 major boy Kyle Trask look bad? I'm just saying. Last I checked, Oklahoma was
Kyle
the Big 12.
Trask
They picked him off 3.
Kyle Trask missing all 4 of his top targets.
I don't want to hear it.
Wave me off.
I don't want to hear it, AC.
I
don't want to hear it. but that's my thing. I would love to take Raw. Like I said, if you can get Trey Lance without mortgaging that much capital, because I guarantee you this, Bears fans will still bitch about it. Why they traded up to get this kid.
Yeah.
That would be one of the things. What
if it was like a first and second to move up, you think?
If it was our first and maybe this a second, and hell, maybe you get a team that might bite on the Anthony Miller. If we've really soured that much on him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you can trade that first, a second, and a player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trading 2 first-round picks to go up to get Trey Lance when he's
played 1 year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get the upside,
right?
But on that same tip, we said the same thing about Trubisky. Honestly,
yeah,
he had the upside.
He had the athleticism. We said that too. We saw him running the ability to run the ball.
So yeah. Like I said, I'm that's just me. I'm not gonna mortgage that much to go up to get Trey Lance. I would rather sit back and take Mac Jones.
And my take on this is not very analytical, but our track record of Ryan Pace trading up for anybody.
Yeah.
I want to trade down. Like I know Jimmy Johnson has that draft grid of like what picks are worth. I do not want to know what Ryan Pace's math equation looks like because of all the trade ups and all these.
I don't know if he knows he's allowed to trade down. I think he thinks you can only go up.
The only person I'm trading picks for is Watson, Dak, or Stafford, and that's it. I'm not trading picks for an unproven guy who hasn't seen the NFL playing field, and taking another shot. Like I'm not doing that anymore. If it's me, and I think with Pace's jobs on the line and Nagy on the line, I don't think Pace gives a shit that Nagy's job's on the line. But overall, I think Pace himself, you can't take another shot on a guy who hasn't, trade up and waste future picks on a guy who's not proven.
Yep.
Oh, this is funny. Speaking of what we were talking about earlier about Deshaun Watson.
This is funny.
I just got this.
Okay.
So they said that his 2 preferred trade destinations would be the Jets because he's a fan of Robert Saleh and the Dolphins. Yeah. But like I said, that could be here. It's like, who knows, man.
All right, so let's get into this last poll question here. All right. So, how would you feel about Ryan Pace signing Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year deal? You see it right there. The high answer, hell no, do better, 45%. I mean, if we're signing somebody else, I don't see a reason to sign Mitch Trubisky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, the relationship there is too. Mitch was asked, on I'm sure on multiple occasions about staying. I know he says, he loves the fans and this and that, but Matt Nagy used him as a scapegoat, just as he did Harry Hiestand and now Chuck Pagano. If I'm Mitch, I'm bouncing. I don't even want to be here, and taking an opportunity to go and do something else, someplace else. Personally speaking, I would want no part of staying here, especially when next year you're going to have to learn a new offensive scheme again. So, fuck it.
I think
my man Bash just said, "Fuck it, man. Hey, I ain't got no hope."
I think I'd have to wait and see how the offseason plays out before I can answer that question. If we get a guy like Fitzmagic, who I really like, or we'll see who we draft, you know what I'm saying? And then if it's a 2-year deal with only 1 year guaranteed, which is basically a 1-year deal, I mean, I don't see why not bring him back. I know a lot of Bears fans are going to hate that, but if he's not guaranteed his starting position and handed everything and he has to work for everything.
So like this past season?
No, he wasn't.
Because he wasn't guaranteed it. He wasn't
That's what they
guaranteed to be the
said.
starter.
That's what they said.
I think this year, right, with all these with the Dak talk, with the damn Rivers retiring, right, with the damn Stafford wanting out, with Watson wanting out, with New England, and they don't know what they're doing next. With all these teams that need quarterback spot, like a quarterback to play, I think you see what the NFL really thinks of Mitch this offseason. And I think Mitch and his agent go out and test the waters, and who knows what happens, right? I think they try to drive teams up in his value, and we'll see what the NFL really thinks of Mitch this offseason when all these open spots are on the table. It's not like there's solidified stuff, right? I mean, Atlanta, you got all kinds of teams that are going to need a quarterback. Breeze retiring, Winston's a free agent. There's people everywhere that are going to need quarterbacks, and the landscape of the league is going to definitely change this offseason. And I think you really figure out what the NFL thinks of Mitch Trubisky this offseason, not just what Bears fans think. You see, you find out what the whole NFL thinks of him, and I honestly don't think it's going to be a long-term anywhere. I think it's going to be a couple of years, if that, maybe a backup role, and who knows from there, man.
How about this, Bobby? You look at Mitch in his first few years with Matt Nagy, right? And then you turn and flip the page to he gets benched. After he gets benched and comes back, to me, that was the real Mitch. Everything you saw prior to that benching was what the organization and the coaching staff told him to say and do.
Yeah, it's scripted.
And when they benched him, he said, "You know what? Fuck you. I'm going to do things." And so Matt Nagy's BU bullshit can disappear.
BU away from the cameras, and BU in the locker room, and BU when nobody can see you being you. But when you're in front of cameras, be this and say this, and hey, Mitch, here's a book. And I think him coming out and the things that he was saying in like the last 4 weeks of press conferences was the most original and authentic Mitch that you're gonna see. Where he fits and how that does for his sales pitch and whatever, I don't know, man. I mean, I agree. I would have rather have him come out and do that, right? But I think the only 13 starts in college, or whatever, all that shit did not put a chip on this kid's shoulder. This kid came in with doubts, and he's been doubted outside of high school. He's been doubted his whole football everywhere, right? He's benched in North Carolina. He's benched everywhere. Go ahead, KB.
I was just going to say, can we get Ron's quote up here, his comment? Because that's the truth right there. I don't know how, how many people played in sports. I don't know anybody's, they background to be that extensive. Me coming out of middle school, I'm just going to use my experience. Me coming out of middle school, I wrestled from 5th grade up. My 7th grade year, I won my weight class for my area. Next year, I was hurt. The next year, all I heard from high school coaches was, hey, when you get here, you're going to be varsity. You're going to wrestle against juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
You're going to be handed the job. You go out there, you get your ass beat. You get humbled real quick.
Yeah, the doubt seeps in.
And for the next 2 years, my freshman and my sophomore year, I hated wrestling. This is a sport I absolutely love. Hands down, I love the sport with all of my heart. I had to question myself because I got my ass beat for 2 years. I never had anybody I looked up to. There was never anybody in my weight to show me the ropes. Yeah. It was, hey, kid, we're going to put you in here against pretty much at that point in my head, grown-ass men.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go up against these grown-ass men who have more experience than you, have been battle-tested. And we're going to expect you to do well. It started to click my junior year when we also had a coaching change. It started to click my junior year. And that was even after a couple matches where I had to question myself if I even want to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
There's one thing to say about experience. Experience is key at everything you do. So when people sit there and say, maybe the kid never had it, maybe he didn't. He was not put in a favorable position. He was brought in to be the savior when we forgot to ask this motherfucker if he even has superpowers.
Yeah.
He was brought in to be a
maybe he's Batman.
No, we didn't even ask if he was Batman.
Batman doesn't have superpowers.
He came out like Blank Man. We just all figured.
But I think, and I think honestly, the 1 year, right, the 18th season when he came out and he did just enough to survive, right, and he did enough to wet the whistle to like get people going, like, oh yeah, this kid can be something, but never built on that and never really moved forward on that. And yeah, did the play style change? Of course it did. The 1 year he had a couple hundred rushing yards. He was moving and he was, running. He was making defenses think. And then he got that like glued to the pocket thing. And it could definitely be coaching. But I just think that this kid, when the doubt crept in, it overtook him. And even in some of the post game prior to him being the new Mitch, right? When he was Mitchell and not Mitch, he was, he's like, well, I thought I could squeeze it in there. I seen it and I thought I could, and I threw that ball because coach told me to throw that ball. Like, who the fuck are you? Do you process a field? Like, if you ever have an NFL quarterback that says I threw that ball because coach told me to throw that ball, one, your coach doesn't trust you in processing the field. Two, like, there is just, you don't trust yourself in looking at what's next. It's not like it's the last second of the game. It's not a Hail Mary bomb where everybody knows, hey, we're just throwing it up and fuck. Yeah, okay, I get those, right? But on just a regular 3rd and 8, and, Mitch, why'd you throw that deep ball, the double cover? Oh, coach told me that's where the ball was going. That's where I should throw it. That's fucking horrible, man. And to put that, to be a coach and to put that on your quarterback and to be a quarterback and accept that's my issue with the whole offensive side. Because who knows what else is going on? Hey, Cole, don't block that guy, Cole. We think Mitch can scramble enough, so don't block that guy. Just run that way as fast as you can.
We got to get you on the field more, Cole. And we will. We'll just wait till weeks 14 through 17 to make it happen.
Hey, that's a great fucking culture, though. You know what I mean? Like,
phenomenal.
Hey, the wins aren't there. The quarterback's not there. Everything else is there, though.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got it. We're up and coming. You know what I'm saying?
Organizational storyline just needs to go, right? Like, he's not the future. There's, Bobby, you said it. I think there's 12, 13 teams out there that could use a quarterback, and he is going to fit one of those better. So, speaking of moving on, I think we have a Manscaped promo.
That is correct. And Mr. Ryan Badgley is going to take over the Manscaped promo today.
That is in support for the Barfly Tailgate Show and the Barroom Network is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. That Manscaped has just released their new cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over and at all times. Who knew smelling this good could feel this good too? Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. And guys, I love the new cologne. My wife loves the new cologne. And, I've been using, all right, I'm going to tell you something, and you'll probably shit on me for it, but you know what? I don't care.
If we shit on you, we can spray you with the cologne. You'll be fine.
That would be perfect. So until I got this Manscaped cologne, I had still worn, are you ready for this? I've been wearing the 7th grade Michael Jordan cologne.
Ooh.
Hey. My wife always liked it. She's always thought it smelled good. And then I got this from Manscaped, and she loves it. So I highly recommend this new Manscaped cologne. I promise you it will change the way you smell. And it's called Refined. You will feel refined after putting it on.
Well, I haven't worn the same cologne since 7th grade. I've used many different colognes, and have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany. But this Manscaped Refined cologne smells great, and my wife loves it. So I will definitely. I've already ordered an extra bottle of it. Just putting that out there.
Agreed. This is my second bottle.
Damn.
We're in there. We're about a quarter way through. But I'm just saying, it's
damn.
But it is. It's good, man. It's a good cologne. Manscaped, they offer everything. They got the 3.0 precision package. You got you got the weed whacker. You can get everything right there. The t-shirt, the boxer, you can't get badge, even though he's right there. And you with the 3.0, man, you got the no-nick technology. It works underwater. You got the little light on it. You got everything. But the big thing that we have absolutely everyday use, is this Manscaped Refined, man. This cologne, it's good. Give yourselves a little, and out the door you go. But go over to Manscaped, check out manscaped.com, use code BARROOM20. You get free shipping, 20% off your total purchase. Get over there, see what they got, and clean your jewels, and then hit them up with a little fresh scent.
Mule knows what I'm talking about. Still wearing the same cologne from '92, man. That's about when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, you probably still got the same bottle.
Actually, shockingly.
Doug Dyer said, "Are y'all bathing in this?" Maybe Bobby is.
I would, man. I smell like an old Italian man walking down the street, fucking with his hair slicked back. You know that smell. If you're from Chicago, you know that smell. Although Gandia grew up with that smell. It's like a straight, you walk into somewhere, you know that there's crime going on.
But you can get some damn good food too, though.
Yeah, you're right. But that's it. Get over to Manscaped. Use code BARROOM20. Get all your manly needs handled. Right. Dude, we still got a 3.0 we can give away. And I know we said last week we were going to do this. Oh, no, we said we're going to do it for Super Bowl, right?
Amen.
We are. We're going to do it for Super Bowl. So we're going to give away one of those. We got some stickers from Audacia to give away. Also, we'll hit Audacia with their little piece in a little bit, man. Or we just want to do it now. I mean, we're already talking about it. We might as well just go back to back. But it's their Audacia has also joined the team. We got some Audacia stickers. These dudes are awesome, man. They're just great dudes. All the proceeds go to the NFL Players Charity. Depending on which player it is and whatever. You got the Mac hip toss there. You got all kinds of stuff going on over at Audacia, man. And they're if you're, maybe you're a Bears fan, but you're, a Brooklyn Nets fan. They got stuff over there for them too. They got all kinds of teams in there. And then they got the regular everyday, type stickers. I'm sure you can probably find a Bernie sticker with the gloves, even though I think that shit is blown up and gone out of proportion. But you got all kinds of stuff over there. And there's the Bojack one. Hopefully Bojack's able to get some gifts next year, but get over to Audacia, check out Audacia, and just look at it, man. They come, it's not like it's super expensive. These things come cheap. And then, like I said, they give all the proceeds over to the NFL player, to an association that the player is teamed up with. So, a couple quick plugs, but hey, that's the way it goes. All right. What are we rolling into next? There's a couple things that we can get into. AC, let me kick this thing over to you, man. Let me kick
Let
this
me
thing
on the
over
full
to you.
screen.
Yeah. There you go. AC's on the full screen.
Give me that
He loves it.
I knew it was coming.
Go ahead, man.
Well, around last year when I joined the bar room, I listened to Kentucky Sports Radio, and I got a T-shirt, and they have caricatures on it, and I thought I loved the way it looked. So I started looking into getting us made as caricatures and kind of building off of the T-shirt that I had for another show, and just last week I worked with this guy for a couple of years and never knew he was an artist. And another guy at work was like, "Oh yeah, Smitty. His name's Smith Tay. I think it's Tay, or maybe it's Thai. I don't know how it's pronounced. Thai. He is not of English descent, but he they told me he was an artist, so I was like, "Hey man, I might ask you to do some artwork for me. I've been looking for a while to try to get somebody to do this for me, and I'm just looking for a caricature to be drawn of myself and some of the guys on the podcast." So he drew it up for me, and I loved the way it looked. I loved the I loved the price that he gave me. And there it is. This is unveiling today the caricatures of the Barfly Tailgate show. We're working with my man Mike Schaefer over there to get this put on some swag, and it'll be on Deep Dish Tees soon, hopefully. And yes, Doug Dyer, English descent. He's from, I can't remember where he's from, but yeah. So there's no script here. I don't know what to freaking say. This is us. I look great. We all look great. Bobby Bombs has been hitting the bench press for a minute there, and he's ready to go.
That looks nothing like me. Hold
He's
on a
gonna
minute.
he's gonna throw that
Hold on.
football.
Hold on a minute.
He's gonna throw that football.
Does that
over
look
the
anything
mountain.
like me?
Totally. It's like
I know it does. I just had to do a quick outfit change. I'm just saying. I don't know if it looks like me or not. Oh man! I gotta.
to match his
Hey, Schaefer looks good.
Schaefer always looking good, man.
He needs some manscaping.
Hey, bring up KB. They tried to work on the picture I had some waves.
Don't do this. Don't do
Had
this.
some waves. If you can zoom in.
Gee, man.
Bro, hold on. All upper body weight, baby. No legs
Hey.
at all. No legs at all.
I think it's questionable that KB's got a 40 of OE in his hand right here. I don't know if we can zoom in on
I
that.
told you, I look drunk and high at the same time. Look at me.
All right, I gotta change again.
Yes.
We're number one.
There we go. Number one.
Number one overall pick.
Oh, my
That's
God.
the match today, at least.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, hey. Oh, my God.
You know, so yeah, and we can't forget about our friend Bernie.
Hey, hit him with the Bernie.
Hey, as long as he's staying warm over there.
So guys, you'll start to see those pop up here every now and again. I see a question here from the factor that I want to get to, and I lost it. Where'd it go?
Is it the Foles question?
That's a really good question. There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Hey, there we go.
So he
Hey,
said,
man.
I'm the only Bears fan excited to see Foles start with an offseason and a better O-line.
Yes.
I would love to hear
Agreed.
your reason behind that fact. Because I don't think Nick Foles is shit anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, granted, he had no offseason. He's not the quarterback for this offense. I mean, he didn't make good. I think some of his decision making was, dare I say it, worse than Mitch.
There was some balls that he threw that was in triple coverage that some of them he completed, but Like even in the Atlanta game, you saw it throw. There was like two guys in front and one guy behind. I think it was to Jimmy Graham, and he just was able to fit the ball in there. So
He got lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And in that scenario, he was lucky. I just don't. I'm not a Foles fan. Didn't want him to come here in the first place just because I knew he wasn't mobile. And clearly in this offense, you need a quarterback that can at least move his feet to step aside. And he's not that guy. And I know he'll be on this roster next year, but I really hope the organization does the right thing here.
Yeah, excited is definitely the wrong word there. I'd be disappointed if he's the starting quarterback week 1 next season. But I'll give you this though, I would be slightly optimistic that we'd get a slightly better version of Foles with this offensive line. So I kind of get where you're coming from with the question, but excited is definitely not the word.
Yeah, intrigued, I would say. Intrigued to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I hope he's part of a trade package, man. I hope he's part of a trade package. He's cheap. He's cheap next year. I hope he's part of a trade package and gets out. But then again, you look at it, right? Foles got benched for Minshew. Foles was a backup. He was the perennial backup. He was a MVP because he was a backup, right? I wore a visor while my wife was giving nice. And I don't know if Matt Nagy can develop quarterbacks or can I don't know if you give him the best one. If you give him Peyton Manning, the best one ever, does Peyton really run that team, or does Matt Nagy build Peyton Manning or add anything extra to the development of somebody? I don't know, man.
I'm so glad you brought up Peyton Manning, Bobby, and I will tell you why. I was talking with Gaines on Friday night, and or maybe it was you, Bobby.
Oh
shit! I think I know. I talked to Gaines.
I'm not sure. It's not like we look alike, but hey.
Hey, Bobby's character is getting some games.
So
that's what I'm doing from now on.
I know. Actually, it was a Packers fan that I work with. So
wait a second. You just went from Gaines to me to a Packer fan you work with.
It popped in my head. It was like, did
Jesus.
you see the light bulb? So, all right. So here we go. Peyton Manning. Now, this is a guy. If I'm the Bears organization, this is a guy that I would want to bring into my organization, not only to help with the quarterback position, but the organization as a whole. He is a guy who has been a leader from the jump, from his time as a high school quarterback to playing college football at Tennessee, to the Colts, to the Broncos. He is somebody who I could see joining an organization and taking that organization leaps and bounds further than anybody else that's sitting. And I don't think could it be as a coach? Absolutely. But I think he would be a phenomenal replacement for Ted Phillips, who has the ability to talk football, which Ted obviously doesn't.
Well, Tennessee
Somebody
fans
needs to hold Ryan Pace accountable, and I think Peyton Manning would be that perfect mix to do that. I had the privilege of watching some footage of him talking to Tennessee's coaching staff. Excuse me, and the importance of drills as far as coaching. And wow, I mean, I came away so impressed by Peyton Manning. Yes, Spiro's the same guy that advocated for Adam Gase. I like Peyton Manning. I think he would be phenomenal for this organization as somebody who could make a difference and an impact right away because of he knows the league, he knows players in the league, he knows executives in the league. He's a likable guy, and his fucking shit is funny. I mean, that's just a plus on top of everything else.
Yeah, he's like the Tom Brady of commercials. He's so funny. Tennessee fans are begging for Peyton Manning to come down there and save them in their AD position. In case anyone hasn't heard, Tennessee was caught paying their players. Apparently, they would come through the McDonald's drive-through, and in their McDonald's bag would be full of cash. So they got caught doing that, and Jeremy Pruitt got fired, and recruits are leaving the organization. So they are frantically trying to get someone to come save them, and Peyton Manning is at the top of every one of their lists. So
I think a lot of people want to hire Peyton Manning, and I think a lot of people would do a better job than Ted Phillips and George McCaskey at selecting a GM and managing the quarterback position. But I don't I love to see that. I think there's a lot of people out there.
I mean, what a way to – I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But what a way to change the direction. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I said I was distracted by the McDonald's commercial.
What a way to change your offseason from your press conference just a few weeks ago to now by bringing – I mean, holy shit, what a splash move that would be.
Facts.
Like –
I agree. Totally agree.
If the Manning, it wouldn't just be Peyton. It would be the Manning family, right? And they're not looking to get their foot in the door somewhere. They're looking to like take it all over, in my opinion, right? And I'm not against that. I'm not against that happening, but I think can Peyton Manning be a GM, or would the Manning family be better like owners and stewards of an organization? I think if you brought Peyton Manning in to replace Ted, I'm 100% on board with it. I just think that the Manning family wants to, like, all of them just become a Hallis, just be a Hallis family and grab onto something and run with it. And I'd be for it, man. I really don't care. I'd be for it. I think some change is needed, and I'm for absolutely Peyton Manning being part of the organization and taking over for Phillips. I don't know that I'd be okay with him coming in to be a GM, right? Because I think if you make Peyton Manning a GM, do you ever really fire him, or do you kind of just nurse him along through your organization because he's the GM? I think he is better suited for a higher position than that.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Totally agree.
Yeah, that was the pops. My pops just said he doesn't think Nationwide will trade him. But hey, as long as they're on our side too, who knows? All right, there's something else we wanted to let you guys know about. There was a certain special honor that happened. Maybe a badge of honor. I think could we give a badge of honor to Badge? Is that a thing? I'm really not sure if it works that way. But as you guys all know, the Barfly Tailgate Show is partnered up with the Within Reach Foundation, and Allen Robinson hand selects somebody to be Allen's teammate of the week. He was doing it every week this month throughout January. And you guys know Ryan went ahead and announced, the teammate of the week last week. And, we gave the kid some props on here and that. So should we have Badge announce this one too?
Nah, this is all you, dude.
All right. Let me go ahead and announce. We got the little piece here, but Allen Robinson's teammate of the week is Mr. Ryan Badgley. Applause, applause, applause. Yes, Mr. Ryan Badgley. We all know what Badge does, man. We all know Badge is. He's got, Badge is. I mean, so let me just go off of the whole barroom thing and tailgate thing and that. Badge as a dude, he supports all kinds of causes and that, and he's just a real dude, man. This is the way you guys get him on the show. That's how he is in real life. He doesn't change up for the show. But Alan hand-selected Badge to be Alan's teammate of the week, and Badge went ahead and said Alan truly embodies his foundation and believes in giving back and making an impact where it's needed, mostly in helping the youth with education, meals, and so much more. He went ahead and supported a Barfly Tailgate Show shirt there. I can't even read that. I'm going to have to get in. My decision to support the Within Reach Foundation starts and ends with giving back. While I'm a part of my own community, giving back where I live, I also like to support other organizations, and no better place than the home of the beloved Chicago Bears and one of the great players from the organization. And then it's the same thing that I had just read to you guys. But Alan went ahead and hand-selected Mr. Ryan Badgley as his teammate of the week. Big congrats to Badge. Fucking hell yeah, dude. When you texted me, I was like, no way, dude. Like, yeah.
Well,
it's
you know
awesome,
what?
man.
I just popped in my head. You ready for this? So, being Alan's teammate of the week, I also will receive a signed Allen Robinson football. And in the spirit of me receiving a signed Allen Robinson football, I also feel like I should return the favor to someone in our chat today to win this signed Allen Robinson football.
Wow.
Can you see that?
Hell yeah.
Right? So now this is our Barroom Network, Within Reach Foundation, Badge of Honor football, live and in my hand. Thank you, everybody. And I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, how can we do this? Tell me.
Whoa, my deepest, darkest
shit.
secret. I'm out, dude. No, I'm kidding.
I got to think about this.
I was going to say, what y'all didn't know is Bash his toes sucked.
Yeah. No.
Tell me.
That might be a little too much. All right, so I want to give this ball away. What do I want?
What cologne did you wear in 4th grade?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Tell me what cologne I wore in 7th grade. From 7th grade until I got the new Manscaped. If you can be the first person to answer, you get the ball.
We got man.
Yeah, you get the ball, and then we definitely you have to be willing to send us your shipping information. So
yes,
we had somebody win not too long ago, and they didn't want to hand out any of their shipping information. So we told them, you understand that we can't give you the ball if you don't. And that was quick. Go ahead, Badge, announce it.
Set us up, Les, on any of our social media channels, man, with your name and address, and we'll get the ball out to you, man. Congrats.
Yeah, awesome.
He said, I've been listening all morning.
Awesome, but to just come full circle on this thing, when Badge and I, a couple of years ago, we were talking about this, and Badge, was saying how he did all this community work and this and that, and how he wanted to focus on players doing, good in their community. This Badge of Honor piece was dreamed up, and man, it's been awesome. And it's not just something that this dude talks about or that he promotes, that other people do it. He's knee deep all the time in doing this kind of things, man. We had Madeline Goodman on last week for a short interview that was aired on Draft on Tap, and I would say honestly, even though the interview was over, the after or the post, whatever you want to say, the post interview of talking with her, where we stopped recording and we just shot the shit on the line for a while. Her and Badge know like all the same people in these communities of, these organizations and all that. And Badge is like, oh, I talked to her. And she's like, oh, I know her. And like, bam, bam, bam. And like, I'm just sitting there like, okay,
definitely made me realize I'm in the wrong career field.
Yeah, and honestly, it was awesome to see, man. And when you have, Madeline come on, a woman who runs this organization and does everything like that, and then you have Badge, and these two both, they're speaking the same language and they know the same people. It just shows how much invested that Ryan is and everything he does, man. So, Badge, we appreciate you, dude. Congratulations on being Allen's Teammate of the Week. No better dude out there, man. Congrats, and happy for you and everything going on, dude.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It was an honor, seriously. I get to do this by handing these out to people and organizations and players and whatnot, but to be recognized, truly can't thank Allen and his foundation enough. What they're doing in Chicago and even Jacksonville to a degree. Just, can't thank them so much.
Let me do a complete 180 right now and kind of flip this script real quick for a guy who will probably never be voted the teammate of the week. A guy, no, not you, KB. A guy who. Why would you raise your hand for that? A guy who recently on Instagram. Because we're coming up on the 2000, from when the Bears 2010 went up against the Packers. A guy who recently came out on Instagram and kind of threw his teammates under the bus. And that is Bears running back. Well, previous, whatever. Matt Forte had come out and he had a little something to say about old number 6, old Smokin' Jay Cutler. And that divisional game where Jay had the chance. So here's the play right here, right? There's the pick. And I believe that's BJ Raji, right? Running it in and doing his little hip shaker, his little dance. Well, Forte came out on Cutler, and I know we got that too, but Forte came out and said, hey, Devin Hester, look, if he would have thrown the ball to you on this play, and if 6 wouldn't have quit on us, you know what I mean? So he turns around 11 years later to call out old Smokin' Jay and basically say, hey, this guy quit on us. Is this just, I don't know. I mean, I'll come to KB since he raised his hand first, right? Is this Is this just petty shit by Forte? Is this what could have been, what should have been, and this guy's the issue? Like, where does this sit in your judgment of a previous player, and where does this sit in what you think it is? Is it petty, or is it warranted type accountability thing that should have been said a long time ago?
I'm gonna go ahead and just classify this as fake news, man. I think everybody's kind of been there where you've had regrets about something that's happened in the past, and you've had things where people will bring up and say, "Oh, well, this person on your team cost you this, or this person on your team could have did this better," so on and so forth. I feel like everybody's kind of been in that situation before. Yeah, after time goes, man, stuff becomes funny. You start to make jokes about things. You start to take things a little bit more lightly. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know Matt Forte as a person because I don't. But I would have to believe because it's something I feel like I would say. Hey, you know what, man? Hadn't so and so, just said forget us and just quit. It's a joke. I can see how it can be misconstrued to be taken out of context and say, oh, he has some inside knowledge to know that Cutler just didn't want to play.
Speaking of context, what was this in response to? It looked like it was a comment on something else. Do you guys know?
On that video of that Aldo put up
of the interception,
the Haney interception, yeah. And he was like, "Look, Devin, you were open. If only 6 hadn't quit on us." And man, to me, I guess it's just after all these years, he feels like, and I think he came out on Twitter a little later, or I thought I saw him say something on Twitter about take advantage of every opportunity that you get because you never know how many you'll have. And I think he kind of looks back on his career, and that was his best chance to win a Super Bowl because that team was really good. We won the division that year and then hosted that playoff game at home. And and then Cutler got hurt. I'm not going to say Cutler quit. He came out with a torn meniscus afterwards, wasn't it, or something to that effect. And I remember I was in the Army when this happened, and every guy I was in the Army with was like, "How you gonna, defend Cutler when he quit on you like that? Aaron Rodgers would never quit on his team like that." Blah blah blah. And I mean, some people maybe they wouldn't. I don't know, but I don't see Cutler as quitting. Now, did Cutler have this history of not caring what people thought? Absolutely. But I don't give a fuck what people think about me either. I'm just not in front of everybody's TV every Sunday. So to me, and here's a valid point. With Hester being a number one receiver all those years, I would have quit too. Yeah, Hester was not a number one receiver. At best, he was a slot receiver. So we were forcing a square peg into a round hole, and it wasn't working. Hell, Hester played corner in college,
Right.
so
he wasn't even drafted at wide receiver for us.
right. So I mean, I feel like it's just bitterness after all these years. Forte knew that was the closest he got to the Lombardi Trophy. And because we all know after he left here, he went to the Jets, which told me he cared more about money than winning, no matter how he tries to spin it. But I think it was just bitterness. That's why he commented what he commented.
It is what it is. I don't think any of us are surprised. I mean, we know that locker room wasn't tight to begin with. It's a little odd that a comment would be made that far off into the future, but it is what it is. Maybe he was just a little salty that Jay's getting back together with Kristen Cavallari. Maybe Forte thought he had a shot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that too. Oh, Cuddy and Cavallari. I never watched the show. I remember Hogan Johns always talked about their show, but apparently Jay was the highlight of her show.
Well, you didn't miss much. I think I saw 2 or 3 episodes. I only watched for Jay.
Yeah,
well, Badge had to leave, but he probably watched that show. We were talking before this. We were talking before the show started about some show he was watching.
Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. You guys know I had to jump over to my phone, so I got like minimal battery left, but let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I know everybody I tried to plug in real quick, and it's hard for me to leave when I'm on my phone and like kill my video and come back. So I apologize for everybody who stirred up my nostrils for a second there when I was moving around. But let's go ahead and kick shout outs. You guys we can do score predictions if you want, or both. I don't really care. Let's just do shout outs and hope that Tom Brady wins and hope that the Bills win. And have this a Bills Brady thing at the end. And let's go around to shout out. AC, I'll start with you, man. Shout outs or anything you got, man. Go ahead. What you got?
First and foremost, shout out to my boy Smitty. He's the guy who did the caricature artwork, and I love the way it turned out. I've been really excited. As I said, since I came to the bar room, I've been looking for an artist to do this type of artwork for me. Even though Bobby talks shit about his pecs, he should be happy that his chest looks like that. I mean, whatever. But shout out to everybody. Hey, you're gonna throw a football over in mountains, Bobby. But shout out to everybody in the chat that's hung on with us. I'm with you, Bobby, as far as pulling for the Bills and the Buccaneers today. Actually, I hope the Buccaneers embarrass the Green Bay Packers like they did earlier this season. I don't know if that'll happen because the Packers offense has seemed to catch fire since then. But I mean, if there was a guy at work said, I hate to pull for the Packers, but I don't want to see Brady get another ring. I'd rather see Brady get 10 rings than to see the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl. So anybody but the Pack.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's go over to Mr. Mike Schaefer. Mike, shout outs. What you got, dude?
Yeah, shout out to Smitty. We've narrowed down that he's not of English descent. Awesome job on those logos. Those look really, really cool. Shout out to everybody listening and with us today. Shout out to Badge for getting your own little badge of honor. I've always wondered what it's like to be Allen Robinson's teammate, and I hope next week Badge tells us all about it. Awesome stuff there. The last thing I've got for everybody is a plug. If anybody watching or listening listens to 670 The Score here in Chicago, it's an opportunity to pick up a Score Gator from deepdishtees.com, and all proceeds go to Camp One Step. Camp One Step is a charity that gives kids that are diagnosed with cancer an opportunity to sort of get away and get their mind off what they're dealing with. They do some amazing things. We're up to about $1,000 raised already for the charity in just over a couple of weeks. So anybody out there that is a Score listener, definitely pick one of these up. In the winter, they not only keep you safe from things like coronavirus, they also keep you a little bit warm too. So if you're walking the dog, you want to throw something on, these are perfect for that. So plug and shout out to my friends at Camp One Step and 670 The Score.
Absolutely. Nice job, Mike. All right. And, well, not last because I guess I still got to go. Mr. Kirkland Billings, right? RKB, what you got, man?
All right, man. Just want to say, Shane, shout out to the fans, man. Like I said before last week, I know it's rough. It's not a football thing for us right now, man. It's off season. You know, we out here just basically saying what we feel, man. Talk about what we see. So thank y'all for getting up with us, man. Thank you for getting on here and commenting. Pretty much listening to a bunch of assholes. You know what I'm saying? But we love and we appreciate y'all. Shout out to my boys,
three
man.
of us. Yeah.
At least shout out to my boys, man, getting on here, us talking football, man, and shout out to my man Smitty for the characters, man. It's pretty fucking dope seeing yourself as a cartoon character, even though I look drunk and high. There we go. And I need to work. I need to do some legs. I definitely all upper body right there.
Yeah, I'm happy with mine. Yeah.
Are you?
I'm absolutely happy with mine. I mean, hell of a job with the character.
At least you got the 34.
I came out of costume. No, I am, man. It's cool. I think it's awesome. I think it's great work. Dude's definitely an artist, and thanks so much for that. And then, to Badge. Shout out to Badge. I mean, dude, this dude was just overwhelmed and shocked when he was, picked as A-Rob's teammate of the week. And he's like, I don't even know if I should accept this. Should I not accept this? He's like, that's not what I'm here for. And just the humbleness of him to, be, I was like, no, Badge, you fucking accept that shit. I'm like, he picked you, I'm like, whatever. But so congrats to Badge, man. That's awesome and great to see. And then everybody who joined us in the chat, we appreciate it.
That's how we're going out.
Did he cut out for everybody?
No, he definitely cut out on him. It's because he cut me off. That's what it was.
I guess Bobby's battery died. So just shout out to all the fans on here. And we're gonna leave all you guys with a fat ass bear down.
Bear down, baby.